Hello, I'm Kimberly Acosta. Welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on Friday, January 22nd. Many of the stories you hear here can be found at our website, IndianCountryNews.com, or you can check out IndianCountryTV.com. And here's the news for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. Curtis Bonnell was slated to enter a plea January 18th on the first-degree murder of his 16-year-old cousin, Hillary. But a defense lawyer considering taking him on as a client requested another 6 weeks to review police and Crown files. Veteran criminal lawyer Scott Fowler, who did not appear in person, submitted a letter to the court asking for more time before he can advise Bonnell on how to proceed. Provincial Court Judge Jerry Mahoney set the case over until March 1st, with Bonnell being remanded until that time. Bonnell has yet to enter a plea on this charge and had already appeared twice via satellite from jail to face the charge, and both times was granted additional time to find a lawyer. Hillary Bonnell's body was found buried in a wooded area on November 13th following a massive investigation and search that involved more than 200 RCMP officers. A human skull and crossbones valued at up to $20,000 didn't appear at a Christie's auction on January 22nd after another party claimed rights to the remains. Yale University's Secret Order of the Skull and Bones used the skull and crossbones as a ballot box. The skull, crossbones, and accompanying book of Skull and Bones members between 1832 and 1877 were withdrawn from the sale due to a title claim. Earlier this month, the World Archaeological Congress condemned the sale, calling the sale of human body parts an affront to human dignity. The group also suggested the skull might be that of a Native American and thus be subject to the federal laws protecting Native American remains. This isn't the first time that the Skull and Bones has been entangled in a debate over human remains. The great-grandson of famed Apache warrior Geronimo sued Skull and Bones last year, claiming that the society had Geronimo's remains. But historians disagreed on whether the society had ever dug up Geronimo's grave. Through the use of technology, some Stratford elementary students in Iowa had a chance to travel across the United States and meet with students from a different culture and ethnic background. The students are studying about Native Americans, and their teacher approached art and technology teacher Lisa Shaw to see if there would be a way the students could see and talk with some Native American children. Through the use of Skype, a software application that allows users to make voice calls and video conferencing over the internet, they were connected with the Passamaquoddy in Maine. Shaw said that before the video conferencing session, the first and second graders at Stratford had many questions about the Passamaquoddy children, like did they live in teepees and if they wore feathers in their hair. They really didn't understand what real Native Americans look like, she said. While on the other hand, the Passamaquoddy students were curious about what type of pets the Stratford children had and where exactly Iowa was located. The outcome of the Skype connection taught both the Stratford and Passamaquoddy students that they were very much alike, and Shaw said that the students would continue on their conversations in a more traditional fashion as pen pals. A Native American lawmaker wants to regulate who can engage in traditional practices off the reservation for profit. The measure, crafted by Senator Albert Hale of Window Rock, Arizona, would require the Arizona Department of Health Service regulate individuals or businesses that charge people to participate in what are claimed to be traditional and authentic Native American practices. Violators would be subject to yet to be determined civil penalties. Hale said the measure is a direct outgrowth of the incident last October in Sedona, where 3 people died after participating in what was billed by the promoters as a traditional sweat lodge ceremony. Participants paid up to $10,000 for that experience. The senator said SB 1164, if it becomes law, would preclude that. He called what happened in Sedona a perversion of our traditional ways. But Hale said the proposal would go further, regulating what anyone could call a Native American practice, at least for pay. A Nebraska lawmaker has a proposal he says could help ease alcohol-related problems in or near White Clay, Nebraska. Under the bill, LB 1002, introduced to the legislature on January 20th by Senator Leroy Loudon, sales tax revenue from alcohol sales in White Clay and stores within 30-mile radius would go toward alcohol treatment, law enforcement, and possibly other measures. 4 stores in White Clay, which has a population of about a dozen, sell about 4 million cans of beer annually. Most are sold to residents of the Pine Ridge Reservation. Liquor is banned on the reservation, but the reservation is just across the state line in South Dakota, within walking distance of White Clay. Lily, a 3-year-old black bear denning near Ely, Minnesota, gave birth to 1 cub on January 22nd in the wild, live on the internet. Biologist Lynn Rogers says the birth in Lily's den outside Ely, Minnesota is a video first. Rogers and his North American Bear Center put a camera in Lily's den that streams her activities live. Rogers has been studying bears for 43 years and has never seen a birth until now. His prediction that the 3-year-old Lily would give birth on January 22nd was right on. If you want to watch the live cam, you can visit bear.org. Jan Michael Looking Wolf, a member of the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde, has released his first rock recording with Spirit Wind Records. Breaking Free is part of a special project to give back to the Native community by supporting drug and alcohol prevention for Native youth. Jan Michael wrote the script for the music video Addiction that shares a story of a Native youth who resists the temptations of drug abuse and walks the red road. The CD, music videos, and anti-drug abuse posters will be distributed to every reservation across the country in 2010. For more information on Jan Michael's new project, you can visit breakingfreeproject.lookingwolf.com. In other news, Jan Michael just released a new music video to help Haiti earthquake victims. What the World Needs was produced to help with fundraising efforts for victims of the quake by the Native American Music Awards. You can check that video out at youtube.com/LW Music. And that's the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. I'd like to thank you for joining me and have a grand day.